Test, test. I'm just trying to figure out the best way.
Okay, it's time to get started. I'll call this meeting of the regular meeting of the Lawton City Council to order. Please stand for the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance, and remain standing for the salute to the Oklahoma flag, and the words will be on the screen. And Bishop Dunaway from Abundant Life Christian Church will be bringing our prayer.
Let us pray. God in heaven, come.
Thank you, Bishop Dunaway. Please call the roll.
Hankins. Smith. Chapman. Gill.
Yes.
Hampton. Uyghur. Williams.
Present.
Warren.
Okay, and we're going to move item number 34 up to the top, and it's receive a presentation from Natalie Fitch and DD Arms on a proposed Safe Haven baby box to be installed at a Lawton Fire Station and take action as necessary. DD and Natalie.
Like I need a microphone. Thank you, Mayor and council people, for entertaining us this evening. I'm real excited to present this idea. It's been kind of a strange thing. It's like I don't know what came first, the apple or the chicken or the egg. I know I cannot proceed without your approval and permission. So I know you kind of know what it is. I'm happy to answer any questions. I will tell you the footwork that I have done. The Safe Haven baby box is a incubator that would be installed at a fire station because a fire station is always manned. It does have all kinds of computerized notifications if a baby is dropped off, and it's to save babies. And it's so that when someone has a baby that they don't know what to do with, they know they have an option. And some of the options that are available now are not pretty. And it's something that I really knew about 4 years ago. I have served on the Comanche County Memorial Hospital Foundation Board for about 16 years. I brought it up a couple times, but none of us really ran with it. And then when I saw that Duncan, Oklahoma got one, I said, it's time. So initially I met with Chief Williams, who also knew about it, was very excited, already knows where he wants it to go. I also talked to the local 1882. There is an annual maintenance fee that's computers that right now it's $650 a year. They've agreed to underwrite that. This will cost the city nothing. The actual expense for the unit is about $20,000, and they've already invented the wheel. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then about $10,000 for installation. I just think it's a win-win-win-win-win. I can't see anything negative about it. If you have anything negative, I'll meet you out. No, I'm kidding. So anyway, at this time, I would just like to entertain questions and go from there.
Council, do you have questions? And if not, I'll entertain a motion to allow the installation of a safe haven baby box at a Lawton Fire Station. We have a motion and a second. Discussion or debate? Any comments? Let's vote. And no surprise that that is unanimous. Thank you very much. Appreciate what you ladies are doing.
Thank you. I would like to throw in there that the major support for this, which isn't completely approved but kind of, is with Comanche County Memorial Hospital's partnership. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. And now we have presentation of True North Award by the city manager.
Good evening, everyone. Can I get Adam Morrison to come to the front, if you can still hear? Folks, Adam is our most recent recipient of the True North Award. He has been with the city for about 10 and a half years now as a Park Specialist 3. What Adam does is he works in our flagship park, Elmer Thomas Park, every day. He's part of the crew. As a kind of a snapshot of their basic duties. He does ground maintenance. He works on repairing and refurbishing park equipment. Of course, he helps out with prairie dog extraction too, I hear. But where I think Adam has been especially impactful is in some of our community events like the International Fest, our Holiday in the Park Festival, and Freedom Fest as well. So he's provided true world-class customer service to many citizens in our community, and we're just really thankful to have Adam as an employee, and this True North Award is a small token of our appreciation. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Is this on audience participation? Okay, now we have the reports by the mayor and city council. We'll start with the colonel.
All right. It's always good to be first, I think, sometimes. All right, so I just want to remind everybody that we are about throttling up in 25, I believe, right? So we're throttling up our security, and by that we're upgrading some security on Fort Sill, and that's Key Gate West. So I think most folks were tracking that Apache Gate was closed and it's now open, which is great. So Key Gate West will close on Thursday, this Thursday at 1900, so 7 p.m. And will be down for about 9 months or so as we upgrade that gate with new barriers, new physical security for it. So with that being said, a couple of other gates will remain open, have different gate changes or gate hours, and Apache Gate will, and was it Bentley Gate, Sheridan Gate will be the new 24-hour gates. And then, so if you're interested in knowing what the hours are, please check us out on our social media page. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the My Army Post app. So if it's called the My Army Post app. Please take a look at that. Just download on whatever phone you got there. Simply select Fort Sill, and we will do a lot of updates, whether it's gate or whatever for the garrison itself. So we got lots of stuff on there. And then second to that, which is also on the My Army Post app, on the 22nd of March, sounds like I'm talking a little bit far away, but you might need to prepare for this if you're interested. 10 weeks from now is Fort Sill's first full marathon, the Warrior Run. So having a full, a half, and a 10K for adults. And then for children, you can do also the full half and 10K. Or for children, there's also a 5K and a 1 mile marathon, 1 mile, 1 mile marathon, right? So if you're interested in running, come on out. We'd love to have you out here at Fort Sill. Check out our installation. And if you know anybody who's interested in running long distance or half or a 10K, come on out. And if not, come out and check us out. If you don't want to run, just see what we look like. There's a lot of really good stuff that are happening. Having some entertainment. A lot of folks will be out there having a great time. So come out and check us out. It'll be a lot of fun. So appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And yes, I will be running. So I'm looking for you, John, look at the city manager, hopefully, maybe.
You'll be looking for a while.
I was thinking I might spectate. Councilman Warren.
I'll be there, but they've promised to bring oxygen while I watch. I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. 2025, throttling up. I truly believe this is going to be the most exciting year that the city of Lawton has ever seen, as far as new things to do, new activities, new things coming to town, and just an all-round fresh new year.
All right, thank you, Ms. Williams.
I'd just like to wish everybody a happy new year also. I'd just like to thank all the citizens that came out for it was January 3rd. It was dedication honorary street for Mr. Raymond Gates Jr. out there in Rancho Sedition. It was such a huge turnout. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, Mayor Booker, for the opportunity to be able to present the proclamation. It was really a joy from my heart. Know Mr. Raymond Gaines since I was like the age of 8 years old. He was the first African-American firefighter, then he moved up to be an assistant fire marshal. Also, afterwards, there was some delicious food served also. This coming Sunday, if you're not busy, we're going to have a community service honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It will be at the New Zion Baptist Church. That's 20th and NH Jones Avenue. And the service will start at 3:30 p.m. And then also Monday, which there are still some tickets that's left, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. banquet will be at Cameron University, starts at 6 p.m. at McCaslin Ballroom. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Williams. Mr. Uyghur? Okay, Mr. Hampton?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Of course, let me tell you what, that farmer's market is something else. We laugh about that, but, I had COVID, had some memory issues and stuff. Some guy selling some lion's mane mushroom extract. Listen, I am remembering things I don't want to remember. It is some good stuff. Just to let you know, there's all kinds of stuff at that farmer's market. Make your way out there. Got to talk to a lot of other people while I was out there. I want to touch on two things. If you didn't make it over to the Carnegie Library, we've got that thing opened up. I'm just so excited that the mayor, the council, and the citizens are supporting historical buildings in our community. That is just a wonderful thing. More to come later. We're hosting a statewide WPA synopsis. People from all over the state are going to come and take a look at some of the WPA projects and treasures that we have here. Last thing is, beginning the new year, I just want to talk to the Ward 5 citizens. If you've got anything that you need to bring up, or problems, or even if you have something good to say, I prefer to talk to you on the phone, face to face. I'm kind of an old school guy, so you make sure you give me a call and we can chat and have a good time and get to know each other. I appreciate it, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gill?
I don't want to take anything away from Throttle Up 25 because that's the go word, but the city manager this morning made a comment, and we were approving roads in the committee this meeting, so I'm going to say 105 for 25. 105 new streets, mill and overlay in the year of 25. So we got quite a challenging program in front of us, and we're geared up, ready to go. Plans are ready to go. As soon as we get it funded, we're off and running. 105 new mill and overlay roads in this town is going to make a big difference. And this is the best for last. My committee this morning approved, starting within the next 30 to 60 days, 38th Street between Gore and Lee.
Ms. Chapman?
That is great news. I had a call today from a resident who I had been helping with a situation in the house next door to them that had drug activity and homelessness. And she called me today and said, do you all ever have an opportunity for praise. And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, I want someone to praise this person. And it was Kayla in Neighborhood Services who worked with this family for several months, and my resident was so proud of all the help. She listened, she was kind, that my resident sent flowers to her just saying thank you. This was several months ago, and she was so taken back because she received a Christmas card from Kayla this Christmas, and she said it just brought tears to my eyes. And then there was a second thing from the same person, that their building was being burglarized, I think last night or the night before, and they were telling me the police were so kind. They listened to them, they were helpful, and you know, we just have some great city employees, and they need to be recognized. So I just wanted to share the good news.
All right, thank you so much. And Councilman R.L. Smith. All right, and Councilwoman Hankins.
I promise to be throttled up by the next council meeting.
All right, all right. Very good. Well, I want to tell you, I am excited about the New Year's address and all the things that we have going, and we're not going to be able to address all of them today, but I hope to have by the next meeting, I hope to have a schedule for our charter changes as we put those meetings out and opportunities for individuals to come and give public input. Then on February the 11th, we will have the homeless response portion of the Kids First initiative, and we will continue to bring things forward. And by the way, I like 105 and 25. Kudos to whoever thought of that.
Mr. Burke.
Okay, Mr. Burke did. All right, thank you. And that will move us on to audience participation.
I don't see anything on that particular.
Jason,
And John.
was this item on audience? Was this item on the agenda?
It's not on the agenda.
Oh, it was on the agenda at the agenda meeting.
No,
Something
we talked about putting it on the, it
Oh,
never made it.
Never got, okay. All right, so let me read this and then we'll get started. And the only request I have to speak is from Jason Poudrier. Lawton citizens who have completed a request to speak form and wish to address business not listed on the agenda may step forward at this time, subject to filling out a request to speak form. And the only one we have is Jason. So Jason and the Johnson family, please come on up and tell us what you've got.
Yeah, so it's actually my honor and privilege, council, mayor, and city manager, to introduce you to Mr. Albert Johnson and Dr. Sarah Janda, who will be talking about the Johnson family house. It's not every day that a building in the city of Lawton gets put up for consideration to be on the state and national historic list.
I'll start. So, Mayor and Council, thank you very much for the opportunity. It's my grandparents' home at 202 East Gore. I want to recognize Dr. Sarah Janda, a faculty member at Cam University. Without her, this doesn't happen. Had an opportunity to read through the report that she has. It'll go Thursday, and I'd like her just to cover a few things that I think is relevant about the property.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. So as many of you know, 202 East Gore is a very special place in the city of Lawton, and it is one of the few remaining homes in the historic all-black neighborhood of the Vernon Addition. And Albert and his family have long wanted to preserve his grandparents' home. His Aunt Lucille keeps it pristine, even though no one has lived in it in several years. And so I worked with a group of other historians across the state from Southern Nazarene University, Southwestern University, and University of Central Oklahoma. And the four of us worked on putting this project together that we will present on Thursday. It will gain state approval to put the home on the National Historic Registry, and then it will go forward from there. Vernon Addition is one of the most unique additions in the entire country that was set aside for African Americans, because it was the City Council of Lawton who created the neighborhood. They worked with a local committee of African Americans to determine the location. And it is one of the only instances we have found in the entire country where in the original deeds that often established segregation, the way that segregation was established in this particular deed was to say that no white person would ever be permitted to live in this all-black neighborhood, as opposed to other ways of preventing people. So of course, lots of Supreme Court decisions have changed all of that, but it's a really special place, and so it is very nice to have the opportunity to share a little bit about this with you, so thank you.
And I'll just close by also thanking Councilmember Hampton for the process. It also does a unique thing connecting Douglas High School and the Patterson Community Center in that area. Now we have not only places where people gather, but a home that was there, and I do want to compliment my aunt. It looks the same today as when my grandmother passed away in 1995. Remarkable. Thank you all.
We're excited about it, and whatever we can do to help, just let us know, okay? Thank you so much. God bless you. Okay, and that'll move us to the consent agenda. Council, I have a request to pull item number 6. Are there any other requests to pull for discussion from the consent? Shreen, did you have something? Okay, then do I have a motion?
Council, Mayor, I'd make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented with the exception of item number 6.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Okay. For some reason, we're not seeing anything here.
Just on that one. The other screen's over. I just saw
The motion carries 8-0 and brings up item number 6. Give me just a minute.
Okay.
Let's just write it down, Trevor. Item number 6, consider approving a resolution amending the City of Lawton FY25 budget as amended by appropriating $395,000 to the Capital Improvement Projects Fund to fund abatements through Neighborhood Services Division. Charlotte.
So this is an amendment in our Fund 435 accounts, which is our normal abatement accounts. And I was asked to pull it to get a little bit more direction from you guys, because I was recently forwarded an email actually from the mayor that you had sent Lynn, the bond council, over Thanksgiving about the beautification. So by some information that Lynn provided, there's additional funding in the CIP that we can actually use to fund the abatements that we haven't been utilizing. And so I was asked to determine if we want to go ahead and move forward with this budget amendment out of the Fund 435, or
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What fund were you taking that out of?
it's out of our normal abatements, which is our Fund 435 accounts, which is just what we do every year.
So it wasn't a CIP fund? This Capital Improvement Projects Fund was not a CIP fund?
No, this is our normal Fund 435 accounts.
It's an operational fund.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is just, there's not an urgency before the next meeting, right?
No, not before the next meeting.
Okay,
no.
because I've got a suggested motion on the last business item that may change all of that.
Okay.
So let's just strike this item until the staff determines what they need to do at the next meeting. Is everybody good with that? Okay.
You need a motion on it.
No, I don't think we do. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, and that brings up the business agenda. We've already done 34. Number 35, consider approving a resolution amending the City of Lawton FY25 budget as amended by appropriating up to $1.6 million to the general fund to provide assistance in development financing to Fisher 59 Properties LLC per the redevelopment agreement. Rebecca.
Mayor and Council, this is just a cleanup. We actually had approved the budget before this agreement went to the 2.9 adjusted cap that was also voted on in the same meeting. So this budget amendment just allows our budget to match what the agreement already has been approved to.
Okay, so it's just a cleanup item.
Correct.
Richard, do you have anything you want to add? Do you have any questions or a motion?
Move to approve the resolution.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Discussion or debate? Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. Bringing up item 36, contingent upon a companion budget agreement being approved, consider approving the First Amendment to redevelopment agreement by and among the City of Lawton, a municipal corporation city, the Lawton Economic Development Authority, LEDA, a public trust having its beneficiary the City of Lawton, the Lawton Fort Sill Economic Development Corporation, LEDC, an Oklahoma 501c6 not-for-profit corporation, and Fisher 59 Properties, LLC, a Texas limited liability company, duly authorized to conduct business in the state of Oklahoma. Who's going to talk here? Richard?
I can if you'd like. As was mentioned, the agreement was approved last spring. Then the cap was raised to 2.9 in July. This doesn't change any of that. It doesn't change the size of the building. It doesn't change the number of jobs or any of that. All it does is, rather than reimburse the developer at the very end of the project, it allows for reimbursements on a monthly basis after we've assured that the stuff is in the ground. Rusty's approved it. He's saying that we have all the lien releases. We have everything we do so that it's really just very much like we did the Westwind project, where we did it on a monthly basis rather than the very end. What this does is it does save the city the finance charges, which would be assessed if I had to, basically borrow that money for 3 or 4 months. So it's a fairly simple amendment, but what makes it slightly more difficult, and why there's more pages than just one, is that we have to make sure that all of those things are done each of those times, the lien releases, so that basically the moment the city reimburses the developer, everything that's on the ground, we more or less own. And it also provides that if for some unknown reason the redeveloper stopped building the road halfway through, that we would be able to finish it with that same contract and just get it done. So because we don't want half a road, we want the whole thing. We want all or nothing, right? So that's what this amendment does. Are there any further questions?
Questions, council? And if not, can we get a motion?
Make a motion that we approve.
Motion for approval. Is there a second? We do have a second. Discussion or debate? Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. I'm having a little trouble reading this thing. Let's open this up and see if it talks to us now. Item number 37, hold a public hearing and consider an amendment to the 2030 land use plan from agriculture to residential low density for a tract of land approximately 156.37 acres located to the southeast of Southwest 67th Street and Southwest Bishop Road, Lawton, Oklahoma 73505, and take appropriate action as deemed necessary. Cameron.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. This is a amendment to the land use plan request for a tract of land, roughly the whole quarter section minus the fire station in the northeast corner. This is located at 67th and Bishop Road. The current zoning for this property is A1, temporary A1, and the proposed zoning for this property is RE, which is residential estate district, and A2, which is suburban district. There's a proposal that will be coming in the future to divide this property into more pieces. This rezoning is what's needed before they can bring that plat forward to subdivide to make the zoning appropriate for the tracts of land that they're wanting to do. The amendment to the land use plan and the next item on the agenda are companion items. This was noticed to everyone within 300 feet. We did not receive any phone calls for or against this. This did go to the Planning Commission with a recommendation to approve 7-1.
Okay, and so this is for single-family housing, is that correct?
Correct, sir.
It is
Yep.
not for multifamily?
Yep. These two zonings, the RE and A2, do not allow for anything more dense than a single-family dwelling.
Okay. All right. Are there any questions before I open the public hearing? Remember, this is a time for questions, not comments.
And I'll just look at Rusty when I ask this. Do we have adequate water and sewer there for development? Good deal.
Other questions? Okay, with that, I will open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this item, please come forward. Come on up, sir. Okay, sir, we need your name and address, please.
First name is Willie. I live on the corner of 67th and Bishop.
Okay, I'm going to need your full name.
Willie Lee Carter Jr.
All right, sir. What do you have to tell us?
Well, I don't think I live in the 300 meters that they sent the letters out, but I live close enough. I can tell you that I don't really believe that it's going to be a residential area. That's just my thought. So I can tell you is that everybody has an agenda. 3 years ago, there was a debate whether or not you were going to put sewer lines from 67th and Bishop going back south, close to South Boundary Road. And I kind of figured something was going to happen in the future. And here we are now, where this land is potentially, it says it's going to be residential single-family livings, but are we guaranteed that? If anyone can say yes or no behind me or in front of me, let me know. One thing I don't want to see out my front window is apartment buildings, duplexes, and things of that nature. Now, I'm not standing in the way of, as you say, Mayor, the other day, builder-friendly. I heard that over and over and over, builder-friendly. I don't want to stand in the way of progress, but I don't want progress to hinder or to diminish the value of the home I live in. Once again, I say it again. I do not want to stand in the way of progress, but I do not want this potential single residence or whatever it could be to diminish my property value. Thank you guys for letting me say these few little words.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I do think we need to, Cameron, I think you need to explain, because I don't think there's any guarantees. And why don't you explain the process if somebody wanted to change it, and what does the public, I mean, it's just like anything zoned. Is it R1? Is it what?
Yep. So R1's to the north. That's our regular single-family dwelling districts. RE and A2 are more for outskirts, of the city. It allows for bigger tracts of land, but it is still limited to the single-family dwellings as far as these zonings. Also, churches would be allowed. But to rezone these to allow for a higher density residential or for a commercial would have to go through the full rezoning process, public notices in the paper, everyone within 300 feet of that property, 2 public hearings, one at the City Planning Commission, one at the City Council. So any rezoning to go for higher density would have to come back through for council's approval.
Just like all rezoning requests?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, are there anybody else that wants to come forward during the public hearing? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Now, council, this is your opportunity to make comments, and you can continue to ask questions as well. Ms. Williams.
Okay, you
Or
said,
motions. You can make motions.
you
too.
said low, excuse me, you did say low density area. Does that include that they can have animals over there also? I'm saying like buffaloes, cows.
Yeah, so in the A2 zoning, agriculture uses are still allowed. You would still have to meet all other sections of city code which specify how many animals you can have on your tracts of land. but A2 would allow it. The RE does not allow for agriculture uses.
What is it zoned right now?
Agriculture.
A1?
Yes, A1.
And so cows can be on there now, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What about the RE?
Residential estate does not allow for agriculture
Okay,
uses.
okay.
The reason they went with the weird layout of these zonings is due to the tracts of land. A2 doesn't allow anything below 2.5 acres. And so to divide it a little bit more, they had to go with the RE zoning.
But we're trying to get it to the A2, correct?
Yes, this request is to go to A2 and RE, as you can see on the screen right here. The current one is just A1, which to do the subdivision that they're wanting to do, it would need to go through this rezoning to RE and A2. As
Is there
you can see,
anyone,
this is the
anyone
layout.
here from the requesting party?
They were not able to attend.
Okay. Right, yes, Mr. Uyghur.
Thank you, Mayor. Question on the, Cameron, on the A2 here, I notice you've got the little, I'll call them fingers, that are going into the RE. Explain what they represent.
Yeah, as you can see on this kind of layout, the second phase of the plat would be another layer of lots, and those represent access to the street, to the main arterial streets for those lots.
Okay.
Yeah, those little flags are to have the frontage required on the streets so
Gotcha.
that they have access to their properties.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Gill.
I'd like to answer that gentleman's question back there in the back, and maybe this will clarify for some other people too. This, by rezoning it where you can build single-family housing, will help your area. It will help that area grow. It will be good. They can't come in and build apartments. Anything I say that's wrong, Cameron, correct me. They cannot come in and build apartments and that type of structures without going through the whole process. As Cameron said, they'll have to come back into planning. Planning will have to approve it. It'll come right back here, and you'll be right back here being able to say, hey, we don't want that, and you told us we didn't have to have it. Just bring the whole neighborhood down here if they don't want it, and I'll guarantee you it won't happen. So you're going to be safe, but you don't want to penalize your area and your neighborhood.
Oh, you're going to leave that too.
You want me
Ms.
to go ahead and make,
Williams.
would
Okay.
you like me to make a motion, Shireen? I will, to approve it, or what do you want to do on that?
I think your question earlier, the only animals would be in the A2. It's A1 now and animals can be there.
Well, we have A2 in there.
Well, I had a concern because we were saying houses and animals there together. So I'm not for sure how.
Okay, well, let's get clarification.
What do we have, A2?
What's the question?
On the RE, you said no farm animals,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Okay. On the A2, what is the difference between the A2 and the existing A1?
Just the tract of land, the sizes of land that can be split up. So A1 requires the lot to be 5 acres or more, and they wanted to go smaller than that. That's where it kicks to the A2, which allows down to 2.5 acres.
Okay, so they can divide the the A2 up in 2.
An A1 zone property still allows for somebody to build their house.
So are you telling me, to further Ms. Williams' question, I think I see where this is going now. The A2 can be divided in 2.5 acres and have animals.
Mhm. Or just a single-family dwelling, or
How many animals are allowed on a 2.5 acre?
I do not have that information. That's by a separate section of code than Chapter 18. It just specifies the use is allowed. There's another section of code I think is that would specify the
So is
per
this
density.
an all or nothing deal? If the council wanted to approve the RE and not approve the A2, could they?
Well, Cameron, because it's temporary A1, correct?
Yeah, right now they're allowed animals as is.
Okay, but under our code, the temporary zoning is only allowed for a year, and
There is no more temporary. We just brought an item to council that got rid of all the temporary zonings, and they are now permanent zonings.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that doesn't have to be addressed then?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my
Yeah, it's
only
just-
concern.
It is A1.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't think I got an answer to my question. Can the council accept the RE and not the A2?
Is there a path forward that you would like to see for the A2? Is there a path forward that you would like to see for the A2?
Well, I
area?
don't know. I'm just offering options because it seems that Ms. Williams has a problem with residential that can have farm animals. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Cameron, I think it'd be helpful to know why the requester is requesting A2. Can you say that again?
Yeah, the reason the A2 was requested, because right now as A1, they are not allowed to subdivide the tract smaller than 5 acres. But A2 allows for them to go as small as 2.5 acres. And you can see on this, they have a kind of variety of different lot sizes. The smaller ones below 2.5 acres is what is the RE zoning. And then the second layer of
Wait a
houses
minute.
is
Say that again. What's RE?
less than 2.5 acres is why they moved to the RE for some of the lots.
So they're wanting bigger lots, but we don't, the RE does not allow bigger lots. And this is one of the things that we will be later directing the streets and bridges, which will be renamed, to review. But I get the not wanting farm animals on a 2.5 acre lot. So I'm gonna say, what would be the odds of us going ahead and proving the residential, the RE, and then I think we got a little work before we do the A2.
I will say that the RE, if the RE is approved, that's not going to hinder any of the developers' path forward right now because they are splitting the development into 2 phases. Phase 1 being the RE section, so it would still allow them to move forward with their plans.
Would you like to make that motion?
Could I have a question
Oh,
first?
we got one more question.
Is there a possibility to have an HOA in this area which would say that you cannot have farm animals on these lots for RE?
That would be up to the property owners to file with the county as a restricted covenant.
Okay, Ms. Williams.
I motion that the RE portion be approved.
We have a motion to approve the RE section of the request. We have a second. Discussion or debate?
Is that with reading the title only of the ordinance?
Say that again. Say that again.
Reading the whole ordinance or just the title of the ordinance?
So this doesn't say anything about ordinance. It says amendment to the 23rd.
I'm sorry, the 2030 land use plan is the resolution. The next item would be
Okay.
for the ordinance.
Okay, so.
For the rezoning.
Okay, so your comment doesn't apply.
Correct. Yes, sir.
I need a vote. Let's vote. Motion carries 8-0. Now, I think the message is that we're going to be reviewing things, and there's concern was about animals on smaller, farm animals on smaller lots. And this is going to be reviewed, assuming the council accepts my recommendation, by the Streets and Bridges Committee, which will be renamed later, okay? Now let's go to item 38.
And this is the companion item. This would deal with the actual zoning of it instead of the resolution was for the land use plan.
Okay, hold a public hearing and consider a change of zoning from the A1 General Agriculture District to the A2 Suburban District and the Residential Estate District zoning classification for a tract of land approximately 156.37 acres located to the southeast of Southwest 67th Street and Southwest Bishop Road, Lawton, Oklahoma, 73505, and take appropriate action as deemed necessary. I do see a reference to an ordinance, but it's not in the title. At any rate, how are we going to do this, John?
So we'll need to do a floor amendment. There are two sections to the ordinance.
Let's turn on.
Sorry. I get into it.
Please
I forget.
state it so
Sorry.
that someone can say so moved.
Okay. We will, we will need to do a floor amendment that will remove section 1, which is the part of the section of land that is going to be changed from A1 General Agricultural District to A2 Suburban District, but keep section 2, which is the zone that is being changed from A1 General Agriculture to RE Residential Estate District.
And read the title only.
And read the title only. That is
that
how we
your-
need to
Is
amend
that your
that.
motion?
The ordinance
Ms.
to
Williams?
match the resolution. Okay.
That's your motion. Do I have a second? Second. We have a second. Discussion or debate? Please read the title.
All right. And, well, I've got to take one piece off, so let me, okay. An ordinance changing the existing zoning classification from A1 General Agricultural District to Residential Estate District zoning classification on the tract of land which is hereinafter more particularly described in Section 2 hereof, approving the site plan attached as Exhibit A, but only relating, I imagine, to the residential estate portion, and authorize changes to be made upon the official zoning map in accordance with this ordinance as amended.
Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. We're striking item number 39 it'll come back at a later date. Item 40, consider approving the purchase of a cyber liability insurance at a cost of $180,015.47 per year for the city of Lawton through the city's insurance broker, Insurica. Who's the speaker?
Judy, and we have a rep here from Insurica as well.
Judy.
Yes, me. Mayor and council members, I would like to give you the whole reasons of why we need cybersecurity. And by you authorizing this, we will experience a significantly less downtime considering compared to what we experienced in August of 2017, where our downtime was, even for first responders, we had approximately 3 weeks of downtime. And also, just to get the rest of the personnel online was up to 4 months. With this insurance, it will allow us, it will give us the tools, the services to bring the city back to a whole again at a quicker rate.
What was your estimated cost of that cyber attack?
I was not in charge at that time. I just knew of the downtime. But I know during that whole entire, we have replaced over $1.5 million worth of equipment.
And that was
to
just
get us.
the hardware.
Just the hardware.
That didn't account for all of the lost time of the employees. And I think that I wasn't an employee of the city then either, but I think the network was down a month or a month and a
Yes.
half while they.
We had,
Yeah.
yes, we had to
Bad.
rebuild
I'm just trying to ascertain what that cost us.
millions. We had a lot of downtime. We
Well, like
were,
1 or 10 or 20.
I think you
we
could.
went back to pen and paper.
Yeah, I mean, I think easily you could say 2, and conservatively you could say 2 million, and that was in 2017
Which
dollars.
would
So
probably be 4 million
Right.
today. Or maybe, yeah. Okay, very good. Do I have a motion for questions? Okay.
I do have it. So when this happened, what actually happened? The equipment break down? Did we lose, was it high, was
it
it
was
sabotaged or what?
It was, from what I've gathered of all the knowledge, because I was in GIS at the time, is there was an attack where it started attacking some of our software. So at that point, we had to just
So
cut
you had a
off all-
virus. A virus was
Pretty
introduced.
much.
And so what will this insurance do? Bring in brand new equipment or bring a
Well,
doctor in to cure it?
It insures us in the event of a cyber attack, and we know through our research that municipal governments all across the country are very low-hanging fruit for Chinese, North Korean, Iranian, Russian malicious cyber actors that launch malware or any number of viruses that you referred to earlier any number of different cyber attacks, and our information network is extremely vulnerable. And if we were to go down for a month or a month and a half because of a cyber attack, the cost would be enormous.
So if we get hacked, this will just work towards finding out a solution to that, not necessarily changing anything?
Well, it would replace the hardware in the event that we needed that, and it would provide an alternate extra services during the event of our information networks are down.
More questions or a motion? Okay, I have a motion for approval. I heard a second down here. Discussion or debate? Please vote. Got 7. Somebody didn't vote. I got 8. Motion carries 8-0. Okay, now, I forgot to hold a public hearing on item 38. I need a motion to reconsider.
So moved.
Have a motion to reconsider. Ms. Chapman seconded that. Thank you. Please vote.
Number 38? Reconsider.
Yeah, reconsider. I have to go back and hold the public hearing. Randy, we need your vote. Vote yes. Okay, motion carries 8-0. Now we're going to okay, we're back on item 38. And we're going to open a public hearing, and this is on the rezoning request and changing the ordinance. If there's anybody that would like to come and speak on that item, please come forward at this time. Are you wanting to say something? I'll go ahead and say it.
After further research, I do want to specify that code does specify one large animal per acre for those areas. No more than 1 per acre. Correct.
Is there anyone that wants to come forward and speak on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Now, you would like to remake the same motion, waiving the reading of the ordinance and read the title only. Who seconded that?
I second.
And a second over here. Now, do you want to read the title again?
Yeah, we can read it again.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get it better this time. An ordinance changing the existing zoning classification from A1 General Agricultural District to Residential Estate District zoning classification on the tract of land which is hereafter more particularly described in Section 2 hereof, approving the site plan attached as Exhibit A as far as the residential estate only, and authorizing changes to be made upon the official zoning map in accordance with this ordinance.
Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. Bringing up item 41, consider repealing or reaffirming Resolution 24-175 to allow the property owner of real property located at 2102 Southwest 16th Street to obtain a building permit to remodel the single-family residence that was declared dilapidated by the City Council on July 23rd, 2024, and take action as necessary. Josh.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. All right, so the property at 2102 Southwest 16th Street was declared dilapidated on July 23rd, 2024. The resolution gives 30 business days for the property owner to obtain a building permit to remodel. The 30 business days did end on September 23rd. No building permits were submitted for the remodel. The city did put a bid out for demolition on October 2nd and was issued to a contractor on October 28th. Demolition permit was filed by the demolition permit was filed by the contractor on November 2nd and was issued on December 23rd, 2024. The contractor went to the property on January 2nd, 2025, where he realized that there was a new roof on the property and did get a hold of us at Neighborhood Services. And per the resolution, staff can only issue a remodel permit for 30 business days. To the property owner, that time has elapsed at this time. The only thing the staff can do is proceed with demolition of the structure.
So they didn't get a building permit, but they put a roof on, expended a pretty good amount of money,
And then,
and they were aware that we'd condemned their building. We'd done all the proper notices, right?
correct.
All right. I'm going to tell you, I feel like they've put money in this thing. We got to give them the benefit of the doubt. We're not trying to tear properties down. We're trying to get them restored to habitability.
Yeah.
Who are you pointing at? Are you the owner? Would you like to come up and visit with us?
The house was in probate for a little while, and I just got the deeds to it. Didn't know anything about permits or anything until now. So I don't know what to do.
You intend to get a permit and continue to make this house comply with the city codes, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's what we want. So what do we need to do, attorney?
I'd say have her work with Josh and get the right permits.
Well, it looks like we have to repeal the resolution, don't we?
We can either repeal it or reaffirm it. That's up to the council.
Can we reaffirm it with new dates so that the time's still ticking, and can we do that?
Yes.
Okay, can we get a motion to reaffirm with current dates? Okay, we have a motion to reaffirm with current dates, and do we have a second? We do have a second. Discussion or debate?
I'm going to ask a question.
Yes.
Yeah, without being on the D&D, does putting a roof on need a permit?
Yes.
It would need a permit also? Okay, thank you. Just want to clarify
Yes.
that.
And Mayor, to give a more detailed response to your question, we can start the 6-month clock over again, which is what I think you want to do, right?
Yes, I want to
Okay.
keep correct. I want to start a new timetable, get her in compliance. She's obviously spending money, okay? Any other questions? Please vote.
Sorry.
Motion carries 8-0. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, number 42, considering an ordinance pertaining to utilities amending section 22-11104, division 22-111, article 22-1, chapter 22, Lawton City Code, 2015, relating to payment and penalties for non-payment of utility and/or landfill bills by granting the city manager in certain circumstances the authority to approve payment plans, and in limited instances to include the waiving of fees and charges, setting forth requirements, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date. Tim?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So back on October 8th, I think it was, of last year, an item went to council to authorize city manager authority to do payment plans on delinquent utility and landfill accounts. And so that passed. It wasn't an ordinance or anything. It was just an agenda item. It went on a consent agenda. Since then, last month, legal got a question about, well, would that include the ability for the city manager to waive a portion or all of a person or a company's landfill or utility account fee if it's disputed. So I looked at the code, I looked at what council approved back in October, and came to the conclusion it didn't specifically give that authority. So what we're doing here is we're going back with an ordinance that does that. I also talked with our bond counsel about this because some of our debt that our authorities go into is collateralized with our utility revenue. So we have to be very careful there so we don't violate any of our debt obligations. So what we have here is an ordinance that it sets forth certain requirements. One is that if there is an entity that would like to do a payment plan or potentially waive part of their fee, they have to make that request in writing within a certain period of time. It's 30 days that we put in the ordinance. And then once that happens, there has to be an actual dispute in the amount owed. And then in the city manager's opinion, there's good cause for a waiver of a portion or all of the utility account that's in dispute. dispute, and that person can't have previously had a waiver within the previous 36 months. So there's some restrictions in there. Also, any waiver, the amount in a year, a total amount, can't exceed the ability for the city to satisfy its rate covenant under any outstanding debt obligations. That's from bond council language, or $150,000, whichever's less. So we're saying a total amount for a year. We could not waive more than $150,000. City manager has advised me he doesn't expect to use this very often and very judiciously. And also for transparency, we put in language that the manager would provide a written report to council in June and December of each year about any waivers that have happened. So council will be advised of that. Any questions?
City manager have any input?
Yes, Mayor, but I've already made my input, and that's been included in the ordinance.
I'd like
Okay,
to make
Mr.
a
Gill.
motion that we approve this.
Have motion for approval and a second. Discussion or debate?
Read the title only.
And read the title only.
Read the ordinance and read the title only.
And that was the second? And discussion or debate? Please read the title only.
An ordinance pertaining to utilities, amending Section 22-1-1-104, Division 22-1-1, Article 22-1, Chapter 22, Lawton City Code 2015, relating to payment and penalties for non-payment of utility and/or landfill bills by granting the city manager in certain circumstances the authority to approve payment plans and in limited instances to include the waiving of fees/charges, setting forth requirements, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. Bringing up 43, consider approving an ordinance pertaining to offenses and crimes, amending section 1652-222, division 1652, article 16.5, chapter 16, Lawton City Code 2015, related to the prevention of youth access to tobacco by retitling section 21652-222 to reflect the legal age of 21 as it pertains to the sale of furnishings of tobacco or vapor products, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Legal, are you?
I can do it. Yeah, it's a pretty easy one. This is part of our cleanup on criminal code. So the state, not too long ago, changed the legal age of 21 for tobacco and vapor products, and this is just modifying our local code to match what state law has. So it's very simple. We just approve the ordinance that puts us in line with state law.
What do we have, 18?
18, yeah.
I make a motion we approve.
We have a motion to approve, read the title, and read the title only.
Yes.
And we have a second over here. Discussion or debate? Please vote.
Oh, hold on, I gotta read it. An ordinance pertaining to offenses and crimes.
Please read the title. Thank you.
Amending section 16-5-2-222, division 16-5-2, article 16-5, chapter 16, Lawton City Code 2015, relating to the prevention of youth access to tobacco by retitling section 16-5-2-222 to reflect the legal age of 21 as it pertains to the sale or furnishing of tobacco or vapor products, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Please vote. Need one more. Unless somebody left. Oh, we do have somebody that left. So the motion carries 7-0. And bringing up item 44, consider approving an ordinance pertaining to administration, amending section 2319403, division 2319, and article 23, chapter 2, Lawton City Code 2015, relating to boards, commissions, and committees by amending the composition of the Homeless Action Committee, modifying the appointment of a chairperson for the Homeless Action Committee, provided for severability, and establishing an effective date. After Mr. Harris left, he no longer is on the Homeless Action Committee. I want to appoint myself to that position and appoint myself as chairman. And so I just need a motion to approve, waive the reading of the ordinance, and read the title only. And we have that motion, and we have a second. Discussion or debate? Please vote.
Read the title.
Read the title.
Oh, got it.
Thank you.
An ordinance pertaining to administration, amending Section 2-3-19-403, Division 2-3-19, and Article 2-3, Chapter 2, Lawton City Code 2015, relating to boards, commissions, and committees by amending the composition of the Homeless Action Committee, modifying the appointment of a chairperson for the Homeless Action Committee, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Please vote. And when motion carries 8-0. Thank you. Bringing up item number 45. Discuss possible changes to the Streets and Bridges Committee, including renaming the committee to Streets, Bridges, and Development Review Committee, expanding the scope of work of the committee, providing direction to the committee regarding street projects for 2025, and providing direction to staff on funding street projects. Now, what this is all about is, as I said in the New Year's address, I want to go over all of the development policies to make sure that we don't have policies that push development outside the city limits. And I said in that video that 80%, it's probably more than 80% of all residential development is happening outside the city limits. And if you understand anything about economics, that's not a good trend, and it's been going on for too long. We need to review everything. Now, what I really want to do, and this item was prepared like I asked for it to be, but I've changed my mind. I want it to be the Streets, Bridges, Building, and Development Review Committee. And of course, they are going to review they can also review any building codes that they want to, as long as, and obviously the development needs to be done. And I just need a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
And we have a motion and a second. Ms. Chapman.
I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any conflict in the building development part with the City Planning Commission? Is there any conflict of what those two?
Well, let's ask the.
I don't know. Let's ask you.
Mayor, I don't think so. There may be some conflict, though, is with the Processes Oversight Committee, because that reviews some of that stuff. So, but I believe that's just an ad hoc committee, so I think we're probably okay.
The building, which committee?
Processes Oversight.
Okay, that's an ordinance committee.
Okay, then we may need to table this then.
Okay, so motion to. Okay, so I don't want to deal with that in the process committee because I'm the chairman. I'd rather the Streets and Bridges deal with that.
There shouldn't be a conflict. I mean, there may be things that the Streets and Bridges may have to bring to council for change. But
What about-
if you need to review it, I'm okay.
But I don't think the ordinance for the processes oversight says they're the exclusive review of whatever. Let's go ahead and approve that, and if legal wants to tell us we need to change something, they can do that.
The only
later.
thing that was brought up to me was potentially the Building Development Appeals Board as they look at building code. I don't know if that would cause any issues.
I just don't know how you can have an appointed committee have more authority than a council committee of elected officials. But if there are conflicts, we will route the recommendations through that, and they will end up before the council.
What we can do is we can work with Charlotte, and we'll try to figure out what exact conflicts there might be, and we can get a report back in 2 weeks.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Let's vote. Oh, I'm sorry, John, did you have something else?
Yes, Mayor. I would recommend an opportunity to do that, to deconflict. So if we could table for next meeting, that would be my recommendation.
Okay, well, I'll need a substitute motion if we're going to table it.
Then I'll make a substitute motion, or, well, I'm not going to make it. I'm involved in the first motion.
You made the first motion. Let's get someone else, if you want to table it, to make a substitute motion.
I'll make a substitute motion that we table this item.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it. Okay.
Okay,
And now we vote.
let's vote.
That was to the next meeting, correct?
Okay, motion to table carries 8-0. Okay, now, item 46, we decided to strike 46, 7, 8, and 9, right? To bring back them going to the Streets and Bridges Committee instead of the Planning Commission. Is that correct?
That was, we did, this was all basically to get rid of the traffic commission,
Right.
just to remove that language mostly.
Okay, but in order, and the references and the others, we got to make sure right. So we're going to strike 46, 47, 48, and 49. That brings us up to item 50. Direct staff to make a revision to Council Policy 6-01, open for business, in order to mandate that residential building permits and sign permits be issued within 14 calendar days upon receipt of all required documentation. This policy update is to take effect on April 1, 2025. Council, this is another initiative of the New Year's address. And I did notify the city manager that I was going to be bringing this some time ago. And what it's about is getting us in line with what Norman does. Now, 2 years ago, we got in line with Norman's 30-day, and the staff's done a great job, and it didn't take them very long to get there, to get to where we could issue these permits in 30 days. And I just can't imagine why Norman could issue them in 2 weeks, and we can't. So I'm asking you to amend Policy 601 so that we get residential permits issued in 14 days, but also sign permits. Now, what I'm told, we used to issue sign permits faster than we do today. So the 14 days should not be a problem. And so are there any questions or motions?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve this.
Do I have a second? We do have a second. Did I hear somebody asking a question, Ms. Williams? Oh, okay. All right, so I have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. Bringing up item number 51. Boy, a meeting goes a lot faster when you strike a bunch of items, doesn't it? All right, item 51. Discuss potential solutions and initiatives to promote clean and safe neighborhoods as part of the Kids First initiative and the priorities outlined in Mayor Booker's 2025 New Year's address, including but not limited to issues such as litter, dilapidated and vacant properties, and vagrancy, and take any action deemed necessary. So, Council, today I want to share a story that's behind the Kids First initiative that we are starting and how that came to life. And it all became with a complaint from a citizen in Ward 1 stemming from a fire call on a vacant house. The council member for Ward 1, Ms. Hankins, informed me that the issue had been reported multiple times but had yet to be resolved. This led us to take action. We decided to meet with the citizens directly in their front lawns and walk the neighborhood with the citizens and our staff to examine the problems firsthand. Besides the home that had been broken into by homeless individuals that subsequently caught fire, we found several other homes that were clearly non-compliant with our city ordinance. As we walked, we asked staff questions, and they confirmed what was apparent to us or seemed to be that yes, many houses in the area were not in compliance with already existing ordinances. At the end of the block, we turned and went down the easement, and when we got back down to the house that had the fire, across the easement, we saw two homes with backyards where clearly children lived. As I stood there taking in the scene, I was reminded of a recent crime report that I'd received. That report highlighted a troubling statistic. 32 sex offenders in our community had listed their address as homeless. I'm going to give that a second to soak in. 32 sex offenders in our community have listed their address as homeless. And all I could think about was the fact that we were allowing homeless individuals, potentially including sex offenders, to occupy abandoned homes in neighborhoods where kids play. This is a failure to execute on our part. That night I couldn't sleep thinking about it. As the elected leader of this city, I knew the responsibility ultimately rested on me, and really with all of us as collective leaders. The laws already exist to address these issues, but we are not executing them effectively. Looking around town, this is an ongoing issue. Lying awake, I thought deeply about what was really at stake. I kept returning to our city's vision, a community of choice where families thrive. And if we're truly committed to that vision, then we must prioritize putting kids first. And I thought about those kids playing near an abandoned home that had been broken into multiple times and potentially housed a sex offender. And I knew that we had to act with decisiveness. If we are to put kids first, what must we do? At the very foundation of this principle is this principle. Every child deserves to grow up in a safe and clean neighborhood, and it's our responsibility as elected officials to provide that. And that belief is at the core of this initiative. It ties directly to our vision of creating a community of choice where families thrive, and especially kids. With the destination clear, safe and clean neighborhoods for kids, I began thinking about execution. How do we as leaders turn this vision into reality citywide? That's what the Kids First initiative is all about, a focused effort to ensure that every neighborhood in Lawton meets the standards necessary for children to grow, play, and thrive in safety and cleanliness. And I'll run a peek. The ordinances already exist for this to be so. This initiative cannot be just a soundbite. It must be a commitment. It aligns with the values outlined in our True North Culture Statement to serve our citizens with excellence, to provide a safe community, and to act with urgency and accountability. Our responsibility is to ensure that we deliver on our promise to prioritize children and families in every decision we make. I've been very pleased with the attitude of the staff since I originally announced this well before the video was shown, as we've already been working on how to make this first step of this initiative a reality. While my suggested motion will direct the city manager to bring back a plan in 30 days, he and his staff are already working on that plan. And it seems like that everybody is on board and likes the idea, kids first, safe and clean neighborhoods for kids to thrive. Well, I should say most, as I have heard a few complaints about elected officials getting involved in management. So I think it's appropriate to explain the role of the elected official. Elected officials serve as stewards of the public trust, empowered by the city charter to make decisions that shape the future of our community. This authority comes with a profound responsibility to act in the best interest of the citizens we represent. Our role is not just to set policies, but to ensure those policies are executed effectively and align with the expectations of our community. To not act would be a dereliction of duty. Yesterday, we took oaths of office to uphold the charter. When outcomes fall short of the expectations of our community, it is our duty to intervene. This responsibility is not taken lightly. It reflects our commitment to accountability, transparency, and the well-being of our citizens. Citizens deserve results that demonstrate progress, efficiency, and fairness. By stepping in when necessary, elected officials ensure that the public's trust is upheld, that challenges are addressed proactively, and that we continue to build a community where families and businesses can thrive. Our action underscores the partnership we share with the citizens, working together to achieve our shared vision. It should be understood that the buck stops here with you and I. We are responsible to the citizens who voted us into office to see that the citizens are served with the attitude and execution of the True North Statement, which says in part that we exist solely to serve the citizen and that there will be no excuses made, and we will act with urgency. It is our responsibility to execute our duty. So, council, with this profound responsibility on our shoulders, I offer this suggested motion. The city manager is directed to assimilate the Kids First initiative into the full integrity of the city, which is in line with our city vision, a community of choice where families thrive. As a part of our relentless effort to provide safe and clean neighborhoods and city for kids to thrive, the citizens have funded, I forgot to pass this out, sorry. The citizens have, I lost my place, funded our dangerous and dilapidated structures program, as these properties present challenges due to vagrants occupying by illegal means, including unlawful breaking and entering, starting of fires, vandalism, and theft. Direct the city manager to throttle up in 25 the dangerous and dilapidated structure program funded by Propel 2040 to no less than 40 properties to be brought to the city council for consideration per month until less than 40 D&D qualified properties exist in the city. The properties considered should represent the worst or most troublesome conditions to the fire and police, whether residential or commercial. While complaints should be considered, a proactive culture should exist to identify the worst properties. There are to be no excuses made or accepted in this effort, which shall begin in February 2025. The city manager is directed to remove all obstacles to success. Special meetings to address these properties will be at 5 p.m. before each regularly scheduled council meeting unless otherwise directed by the mayor. Further, direct the city manager to bring a plan no later than the February 11th regularly scheduled council meeting to throttle up in 2025 to clean up and beautify the city, to provide safe and clean neighborhoods for our kids to thrive in 1 year. This unique Kids First Throttle Up plan shall include identification of all properties that do not comply with existing ordinances and policies by a date certain, and bring all properties in the city into compliance with existing ordinances and policies. An education campaign before enforcement begins in True North fashion. Once enforcement begins, a 1-year timetable to 90% compliance of identified properties, including a date certain that enforcement begins and a date certain that 99% compliance will be attained. A department status that reports directly to the city manager or his deputy. The department director shall possess the organizational, execution, and leadership skills equivalent to a command sergeant major in the United States Army. All assigned personnel must be trained in True North, and all contact, whether in person or by correspondence, with citizens and property owners must be in accordance with the True North Culture Statement, including comprehensive training of all applicable ordinances to result in consistent application. This special department will be funded by the Propel 2040 Beautification and D&D funds where qualified. Now, since this began in Ward 1, I would like to extend the courtesy to the councilwoman from Ward 1 to make a motion if she wishes to.
I move that we accept this. This was a real frustrating case for me. This is a citizen who has kept in contact with me about things going on close by, and she's been a really good citizen, used to be part of our neighborhood watch. And so it seemed like I would report things. In fact, she thanked me for doing so much good. It wasn't me. It took sort of a crisis to get this to happen. There had been a fire in that house like 2 weeks before, and so then another time, then when the fire really happened, the fire department came and the police department came, but it wasn't taken as seriously as I would like. We had the deputy city manager come out and the mayor came out, and so people gathered in the front yard to discuss the issues, and there were several neighbors, but I didn't feel like this was taken as seriously as it should be. I felt like the house should have been, after the first fire, the house should have been secured, so if the homeless person came back and started a fire there again, then that would be very serious. So just pretty frustrating. So yes, I make this motion.
Is there a second? We do have a second. Any further discussion or debate? Any comments? Okay, let's vote. Motion carries 8-0. And that thank you, council. And there will be more things coming forward on the Kids First initiative. And staff reports provide City Council with an update on the FY 2023 and FY 2024 audit process.
Well, to bring you a little lighter news, finance is aligning with the kids. Kids love to check things off of their list, right? So I want you to know we're closing the door on 2023 audit in 2024. We're moving on to 2024 where we're throttling up and we're going to finish it in 10 weeks. Our goal is to have it on the first council in March. 10 weeks from today, another kids number, right? 10. Scary.
Okay.
We've gotten the message.
So I think it's pretty awesome for being scary, and I want to thank you for all you've done to get us to this point. But I'm even excited about the next audit that will be done by December 31, 2025, showing that the finance department is throttling up in 25.
I've applied for that certificate already.
All right. All right. Do you have a question?
No, had a motion
Okay, what's your motion?
to adjourn.
No, you.
Executive session.
Oh, okay. We have a motion to go to executive session. I need a second. We do have a second. Please call the roll.
Hankins? Smith? Chapman? Gill?
Yes.
Hampton?
Yes.
Uyghur? Williams?
Yes.
Warren?
Did I understand correctly, the 23 audit has been finished and shipped off to the state auditor?
Yeah, that's
Is that
what I,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It has been.
And 24 within 10 weeks, sometime in March.
That's what she said. Yeah.
It's doing well.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Ricochet's still 2 years.
Sir.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you.
Test.
they want to. We don't want to. Yeah, but they're like, yes.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion.
Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, we are back from executive session. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion return and a second by Ms. Chapman. Please call the roll.
Hankins. Smith.
Yes.
Chapman. Gill.
Yes.
Hampton.
Here.
Uyghur. Williams.
Present.
Warren.
Executive session item 53.
Pursuant to Section 307B.1, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the governing body convened an executive session to review the employment of Judge Nathan Johnson as municipal judge, and we'll be taking action here in open session.
Mayor, council, I would make a motion that we extend the judge's contract as written, with the exception of changing the dates as involved and increasing salary to $140,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Do I need one more vote here? We got everybody here. I need one more. There it is. Motion carries 8-0. Item 54, John.
Pursuant to Section 307B.4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, governing body convened an executive session to discuss the investigation and possible pending action with Great Plains Improvement Foundation concerning a home program finding report received from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to the City of Lawton on July 26, 2024, and we will be taking action in open session.
Mayor, council, I make a motion to direct the city attorney's office to file foreclosure actions on the following properties: 8 Northwest 27th Street, 707 Northwest 31st Street, 716 Northwest 31st Street, 1611 Southwest 10th Street, 1622 Northwest 48th Street, 2205 Northwest 26th Street, and 2238 Northwest Pollard Avenue, and direct the city attorney's office to work, city manager's office to work with city attorney's office to work with public affairs to issue a press release for full transparency.
Is there a second? Okay, please vote. Motion carries 8-0. Item number 55, John.
Pursuant to Section 307B.4, Title 25, thank you. Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, governing body convened an executive session to discuss the pending action in the United States District Court for the Western District of Oklahoma titled Kent Jackson as personal representative of the estate of Israel Williams versus City of Lawton, case 523-CV-00284-G, and we will be taking action in open session.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve a First Amendment to the Professional Services Agreement with the law firm of Steedley and Neal, with said law firm to assume the representation of the defendant Carter.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Multiple motions and seconds. Please call the roll.
Hankins.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Chapman. Gill. Hampton. Uyghur. Williams.
Yes.
Warren.
Sitting a little